Welcome back to Hilltop Farm. I'm Jay, and today I'm just going to give you a bit of a spring update, let you know what's happening here at Hilltop Farm. First thing I'll tell you about is, as you can imagine, springtime here. Everything's just starting to grow in the garden. We're starting to harvest things, and not only that, things are appearing on special at farmers markets and local fruit and veg places. So don't forget, it's not just about things you grow. It's about getting things at the right price that you can incorporate into your daily meals now, and or preserve for later on when it's not on special, when it's not cheap. These are just some of the things we've started canning at the moment, and it's just a couple of ideas for you. I mean, I've just put it here because of what we've been doing in the last week, but we've got our regular chicken and beef stocks there, which, as those of you who follow our channel know, that we always have those on the shelf. We say it every year, but we're not going to grow as many tomatoes this year because we've got plenty of tomato passata. We've got, I would say, around 150 pints of it, I would estimate, and here we are again. I think we've still got it going back to about 2017, but here's 2019, because I'm not wasting the tomatoes, frankly, and we're just going to have to find a way of using them up. So, tomato passata. This is something we're just experimenting with here. We found some, in sorting out the freezers, we found some beef that needed using up. Didn't know what to do with it because it was sort of a gravy casserole beef. And here in Australia, no one wants to eat casseroles at this time of year. I mean, it's 42 degrees C here today, which in Fahrenheit is, well, I don't know, but it's well over the 100. So no one will sit down to a nice warm hearty casserole. So what we did to use it up is we made a casserole and then we've canned it. We've not done this before. As I say, it's an experiment to see what it's like, but we're working on the assumption it's going to be convenience food in the winter time. If just one or two people want something hearty, or even if we're working outside on a particularly cold day and we come in and we want something nice and warm for lunch, just grab one of these off the shelf. So I'll let you know how we get on with that. This, you may not believe it, our local greengrocer has boxes out the front of leaves and scraps and things that are free. And we periodically will pick one up if we're going past to give to the ducks and the chickens. And this particular one had a whole load of bananas that were past their best. But you know how when they start to blacken on the outside, but inside they're perfectly alright? They were like that. So Helen got a bee in her bonnet and she started baking. And I think she baked about 8, something like that. Banana bread, banana cake, we call it banana bread, but she baked a whole load of those. They're all wrapped up, frozen in the fridge, frozen in the freezer for when we need them. But also in there was some sweet potato that had like just a couple of bad spots on them. Once you cut them out, were perfectly alright. But of course they were very ripe and we didn't need them. So we've canned them. We've not canned sweet potato before. We normally have it sliced in rings. This is actually, as you can see, cubed. So the recipe we found actually has done it in, recommended that we have sugar in here to maintain the flavour, and they recommend that when you cook it, that you actually mash it with a bit of butter and a bit more sugar if you think it needs sweetening, and have it as a mashed vegetable. So, and I think we got about, my memory serves me correctly, we got about 6 jars, something like that, just out of what the greengrocer was throwing away. So, yeah, incredible. I say the fact that we got this banana bread and this makes it sound like we went dumpster diving, doesn't it? But it's not quite like that. We've also started the first of the potato harvest. Now, we planted a whole load of different types of potatoes this year because we wanted to see what flavours we liked, what worked well, what was the most prolific. And we've had varying results, but the best result we had was we just happened to have a bag of store-bought white potatoes that went, you know, they started growing and were past their best. So we put 2 kilos of them in our front window to chit and then planted them. And they did really well. We planted 2 kilos, we harvested, I think it was 9.8 kilos out of them. And most of them were a good size, we were very happy with them. But we were left between that bed and I think there was 2 raised beds we harvested. There was another couple of varieties in the other bed. And I can't remember what they were called now. But between them, we had a whole load, and those of you that grow potatoes will know what I mean. You end up with a whole load of tiny ones. Now, I'm not talking about the you know, the new potatoes that you can boil up and have in the jackets, and I'm talking about these tiny ones that you could fit on a teaspoon, and you sort of think, what on earth am I going to do with that? But we had a lot of them. So we cleaned them and we canned them. And again, we got about half a dozen jars out of it. And you can see, I mean, some of these are tiny little things. Some of them are weird shaped. And some of the larger ones that are cut up are the couple that got damaged, you know, when you dig them up and you stick the fork through them or whatever. So we cut off the damaged bits and the rest are in there. But we figure with the size of them, and obviously they cook in the canning process, when the time comes we're just going to tip them straight into when we make a casserole or something like that, and they'll be fine in something like a casserole. So we got out of stuff that you wouldn't say it's waste, but it's hard to know what to do with. We ended up with 6 quart jars of potatoes from that, and we've still got, I think, another 2 raised beds to go. So we may, we may end up with more. But I will say, out of the beds we've had so far, by far the best tasting potato has been one. I must find out the name of it and get back to you on it. It was a blue potato. I've never had, that I can remember, a blue potato. But it's got a almost purple skin, and when you cut into it, the flesh is sort of a bluey sort of grey colour, and you sort of look at it and you think that's going to make the most unappetizing coloured vegetable to eat. But it seems to as you cook it, seems the colour changes and resembles more of a normal looking potato. But I'll find out the name for you, because so far that's the best tasting one. Needless to say, it is a heritage variety, and for the amount, you know, your yield for the amount you put into it is nowhere near what you would like. So, you know, you perhaps have to weigh up, is it worth it to do it, or is it worth just to have a small amount that you harvest because you want to have it for your Christmas dinner, or, you know, for one of your Wiccan festival meals, or whatever it is, could be your birthday, Thanksgiving if you're in the US. So, yeah, we haven't decided yet, other than we are going to have them. We just don't think we'll have them as our main crop because of the fact that, as I say, you have to plant a lot to get very little back. The other thing I wanted to just to quickly touch on, there's a YouTuber in England that I watch. He and his wife, they have an allotment, and their channel follows the progress of their allotment throughout the year. And they had, earlier on in the year, they found seeds to something they called a blue Kentish pea. And they sort of said to their viewers that I think it was his mother grew them, or grandmother or something when he was a kid. But anyway, he had seeds for this, and would anyone like seeds? And I was born in the county of Kent in England, and so my ears pricked up, and I thought, oh, that'd be good, you know, have something from the county I came from. So I emailed them, and they very nicely said that they would send me some seed. They wouldn't accept any payment even. They were quite happy to send it, which was very nice of them. But they sent me 7 seeds, and once, and because they then planted their seeds, because, you know, the time of year, it wasn't ready. We weren't ready to plant the peas here, but they planted theirs, and they subsequently said that it had a terrible germination rate, and yeah, wasn't sure whether it was because it was a heritage variety or the age of them or what. But did say that if anyone they'd sent peas to had any trouble, couldn't get any, you know, didn't have any luck germinating them, to let them know. They would send some more out. So I planted my 7, bit late, you know, a few months later, not expecting great results, and sat watching them eagerly, and I had 1 come up, and I thought, well, what could you do with 1? You can't possibly have a meal of peas from 1 plant. So I thought, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this plant in cotton wool, going to grow it in the corner of one of the beds on a trellis, and we're not going to harvest any for eating. We're going to just leave everything on it and let it go to seed, and keep everything for seed saving. Well, this plant, and I'll insert a picture of it, because I did actually show it in my last, when we raised, put up some more raised beds, a video I did a couple of months ago. I showed the plant there because it had the most beautiful, beautiful flowers on it. They're sort of pink and purple, beautiful flowers. Worth having in the garden for the flowers alone. But anyway, it did really well. For 1 plant, it went up we sort of did a little teepee thing, and it grew up there and was all lush, covered in flowers. Anyway, it's now died back and we've harvested the seeds from it. And I'm not sure if you can see, because they're a Kentish blue pea. Did I mention they were blue? Can you see those there? From that one plant, we have got, I would estimate, a few hundreds pea seeds here from this. So I actually hope they taste alright, because I still haven't tasted one. But next year, I'm putting up a trellis that runs the full length of the side of our greenhouse. There's a strip of garden about yay wide between the pathway and the greenhouse, and I'm putting up the trellis there. And I'm going to plant these from one end to the other, and we'll see what the germination rate's like, and obviously we'll be eating the peas to find out what they actually taste like. But very excited for that. So anyway, I'm just letting you know, if you also had some of these seeds, that yeah, this is them. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And if I get this many peas produced just from one plant, I mean a whole row of them, I mean these are obviously dried of course, but can you imagine, it'll give us quite a few meals worth. So watch this space, I'll keep you up to date on that. Now, at the moment I think that's pretty much all I need to talk about as far as the farm update's concerned. The chickens are doing well, laying prolifically at the moment. We have eggs in the incubator at the moment. We have we did get silver Sussex eggs and light Sussex eggs. The light Sussex, very high fertility rate. I think virtually all of them are in there with chicks in them. They're, I think, at about day 15, something like that. So they're going to lockdown in about 3 days. The light Sussex are a bit disappointing. I think there's only 5 fertile out of the dozen we got of those. Last time we got the silver Sussex, we got them from the same fella, it was 100% fertility, so we must have just got a bad run this time. But silver Sussex, for those of you that haven't seen one, because you'll know the light Sussex is the white with the black sort of ruffle thing around the neck. And the silver Sussex is kind of reversed. It's a black chicken with white flecks around the neck. And whereas the black Australorp has that sort of purpley, greeny, bluey, shimmery sheen on the outside of the feathers, the silver Sussex tends not to have that. It's black, you know. So those chicks, hopefully, in about a week's time, will be hatching. In fact, probably it'll be less than a week. Be about 6 days. Be hatching. The ducks are doing well. We've thinned out the flock yet again. And of our last lot that hatched, I think probably 2.5 to 3 weeks ago, we've picked 3 that potentially look like the colours we're after, and we've sold the others on. So we've got 3 in the back of the hen house, which is where our grow out area is. And in fact, that reminds me, I don't think you have seen our new hen house. The girls and I built a new hen house with a grow out area attached, and they did a fantastic job. It really looks great. It's been made out of timber, whereas the other one was metal, and used to be very hot, you know, here with the sun on it and so forth, whereas this has got wooden sides, got a wooden roof, and so it stays a bit cooler. So I must show you that and do a bit of a tour and show you what that's about. So that's what's happening with the poultry. We still haven't finished with the garden beds and the pathways, and because when you get to this time of year, it's so hot, it's hard to progress. But you know, we're plodding on, we're getting there slowly. Yeah, so at the moment, that's pretty much all there is to report. So, while I drink my cup of coffee, I suggest you go and put your kettle on and have one too. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any other of our videos, and give us a big thumbs up. And until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!